I trusted him more than I trusted myself, and that was my mistake. 10 years of marriage, countless memories, and a life built together in the heart of Silicon Valley's tech bubble. Emilio was my rock, my partner in every sense of the word. Or so I thought. We were the picture-perfect couple, or at least that's what it seemed like to our friends and family. Behind closed doors, however, things were different. Emilio had a way of making me doubt myself, of using my insecurities against me to deflect from his own behavior. It created a toxic environment where I often found myself questioning my own sanity. I remember the day his father passed away like it was yesterday. Emilio was devastated, and I did my best to be there for him. But after the funeral, something changed. He became distant, preoccupied. I brushed it off as grief, but looking back, I realized that was when it started. At first, it was small things. He stopped making future plans with me. We used to talk about our dreams, our aspirations, but suddenly, he became evasive. "Let's just take things one day at a time," he'd say. I thought he was just stressed with work, but deep down, I knew something was off. Then there were the disappearances. He'd vanish for hours without any explanation. I would try to call him, but he'd just text me back, saying he was busy with work. Work that seemed to be taking over his life. I would feel a knot in my stomach, but I would push the thoughts away, telling myself I was being paranoid. The comparisons started soon after. He'd casually mention other women, how they were more accomplished, more beautiful. I would try to brush it off, but the words stung. I began to doubt my own worth, my own identity. I was planning our dream wedding, a grand celebration of our 10 years together. I wanted it to be perfect, a day that would make Emilio proud. But as I looked back, I realized I was just trying to hold on to something that was already slipping away. The day I found the strand of hair that was not mine on his collar was the trigger. I felt a wave of unease wash over me. Whose hair was that? Why was it on his collar? I tried to push the thought away, but it lingered. That night I started going through his emails, his messages. And then I saw it. A receipt for a piece of expensive jewelry. A necklace with a note that read, "Forever yours." I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I had never received that necklace. A shiver ran down my spine as I wondered who had. My mind was racing, but I could not shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. I started digging deeper, and that's when I found more receipts, more gifts. It had been going on for a year, maybe more. The thought made me sick to my stomach. I knew I had to confront him, but I needed proof. That's when I reached out to his coworker, Alex. We'd met a few times at company events, and she seemed like someone I could trust. I sent her a message, pouring my heart out, telling her everything. She responded with a simple message: "Meet me at the coffee shop on Main Street at 3 in the afternoon." I arrived early, my heart racing. Alex was already there, sipping on a latte. She handed me a folder full of documents, emails, and bank statements. My eyes widened as I scanned through them. The proof was there, irrefutable. Emilio had been sending money to another woman, a woman named Sophia, for over a year. But that was not the worst part. As I dug deeper, I found out they had matching tattoos with dates during our relationship. I felt like I had been living in a nightmare. I went to therapy, trying to make sense of it all. My therapist, Dr. Patel, listened attentively as I poured out my story. "You see, it is a pattern of abuse," she said gently. "He used your insecurities against you to control you, but you have the power to break free." The words resonated deep within me. I realized I had been living in a state of denial, ignoring the red flags, making excuses for Emilio's behavior. But now, I saw the truth. I knew I had to confront him. I could not just sit back and let him continue lying to me. I invited him to a quiet dinner at home, my heart pounding in my chest. As we sat down, I looked him straight in the eye. "I know what's been going on, Emilio. I know about Sophia, about the money, the gifts, the tattoos." He looked taken aback, but then his expression changed. "You're just being paranoid again," he said, his voice laced with condescension. "You're always so insecure, always doubting me." I felt a surge of anger, but I kept my cool. "I am not being paranoid, Emilio. I have proof, and I want to know why. Why did you do it? Why did you lie to me?" He shifted uncomfortably in his seat, avoiding eye contact. I do not know what you are talking about." That's when I let him catch himself in his own lies. I pulled out the documents, the emails, the bank statements. Don't lie to me, Emilio. I have it all right here. He looked defeated, his eyes welling up with tears. I am sorry, he whispered. I was lost, and I made a mistake. I felt a wave of emotions wash over me. Sadness, anger, betrayal. But, as I looked at him, I realized I was not going to let him gaslight me anymore. I was not going to let him make me doubt myself. I want a divorce, I said, my voice firm. He looked shocked, but deep down, I knew he was not surprised. He knew he had crossed a line, and now he had to face the consequences. As I looked at him, I felt a sense of strength emerging from the pain. I was taking back control, reclaiming my power. I was going to rebuild myself, to rediscover who I was outside of this toxic relationship. It was not going to be easy, but I was ready. I was ready to face the truth, to face myself. I was ready to heal, to move on. And as I walked away from Emilio, I knew I was going to be okay. I was going to rise from the ashes, stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before.